on the bottom side, you have 3 screws. And after removing them, you can pull up the side and take it away. So after removing the left side of the device, it's the same procedure like on the right side, just the 3 screws on the bottom and lift up the side cover. We want to remove the top cover and the backside cover. For this, first we need to remove 6 screws on the backside, so we can remove the backside like this. And after that, we need to remove 6 screws from the top cover to remove it. Two screws here, 2 screws here, and 2 screws on the backside. And after that, it's possible to remove the top cover. So next step, I just want to show how the readout process in the device is working after inserting a cassette. So as you can see, we have a sensor for detecting the cassette size. So if it's the smallest cassette, no sensor will be activated. If it's a mid-size cassette like this one sensor will be activated, and if you have a big cassette, both sensors will be activated. And when you press in the cassette, it will be unlocked with this knobs, and I will show it now. So the cassette will be open. One arm is picking up the image plate, inserting in the readout unit, and now the image plate is being read out. When the readout process is done, the image plate will be pulled back in the cassette, and during this it will pass by the erasure lamps to be erased. Now the image plate will be put back in the cassette, and process finished. The next step is remove 4 screws here, 2 on each side, to remove the lower front cover. Then remove these 2 screws on top and these 2 screws from the side, so the top part with the display is loose. Remove 2 screws here and 2 screws here to have this part loose, and now you can remove the single parts. Just remember before removing the part with buttons and display to disconnect with this connection here on the side, and then it's possible to remove. So after removing the top plate with the buttons and LEDs, we can see the back side. It's a P&L board, so in case of a defect button or LED or the display is defect, this board needs to be changed. After that, we want to show the 4 main boards in the device itself. At the front we have this compartment here, it's a power supply compartment. We have on the left side the power supply board, and on the right side the power distribution board. So in case of changing one of these 2 boards, it's just needed to remove all the attached cables from the device and loose 4 screws, and then you can remove the complete power supply compartment from the device in this direction. To access the main boards on the device, you need to open this cover. So unscrew 8 screws around the cover, To access the left-sided screws easily, it's possible to remove the duct cover from the fan. So just open this like that, and after removing 8 screws, you can open the box. Here we can see 2 boards. On the left side we have the sensor board, and on the right side we have the CPU board. So on the sensor board all the sensors are connected and the power supply will also be distributed. On the CPU board the image unit is connected, the machine data is stored, and the connection to the console software with the network connection is available. Also, on both of them we have some fuses, so in case of a blown fuse, many of them are on one of these boards, like for example these 3 here on top. We have also some LEDs named with LED number 1 till 15. This will show red and green lights depending on the status of the device or an error code of, for example, a sensor. So now I just want to show one case when the device is not starting correctly during boot up. So I disconnected this sensor. The sensor is for detecting if the image plate is pulled from the cassette out in the conveyance unit. And during boot up makes some tests, and after some tests and it's not detecting an image plate in the device, and also this sensor is not connected, it gives me an error code. In this case 422 means the image plate is not recognized, maybe dropped. So after that we can go on to read out the status of all sensors to check if the sensors are working fine. In the next part I just want to show how to change some parts. The first one will be the erasure lamp. So during the readout process the image plate will go like this and will be read out in this area in the device, and during push back it will go through the erasure lamp and will be erased during putting back in the cassette. So to change the lamp, it's one big part. You just need to unscrew one screw on the right side, unplug the plug for the lamp, and gently pull out the erasure lamp like this. So that's the lamp. Here in between the image plate will be passed by. Just be careful not to bend this top device because it also works like a mirror. For changing the power supply and the power distribution board, we need to remove the compartment where both boards are inside. So first of all, remove 3 screws to remove the power socket and the main switch. Then on the right side, remove the cable to the CPU board and the sensor board. Disconnect it, unscrew these 4 screws, and after that you can remove the complete compartment. This can be opened with 2 another screws, and then the main boards can be changed. Okay, to change the scanning optics unit, which is accessible from the bottom side of the device, first you need to remove the back side, then turn the device on the back side to stand like this. Remove all the screws from the button plate so you can remove you can remove the button. And to have access to the inner parts, like the scanning unit or the light collecting unit, you have to remove 2 screws from this black plate here. And then you can open this, and have access to the inner parts. So the next step is to remove this part. So top is already loose. Just remove these 2 screws on the bottom, and you can remove it completely. It's like this. So here you can see the light collecting unit. So the laser light, which is sent from the optics unit in the back here and reflected by the image plate, will be collected in this glass unit here and in the sensor on the top here on this board. So to remove this complete unit, first of all, disconnect the connections to the board here. That's one multi-connector, like this, and one coax cable for image transmission. Be careful to plug and unplug it in the right angle. Then you have to lose 6 screws, 2 of them here, 2 of them on each side here on the lower part. And after that, you can take the complete unit out. Be careful, don't touch this surface here in the front area, don't touch this. Yeah. Okay, the next step is to remove the scanning optics unit. It's a complete unit in this black box here. To get it removed, first of all, you have to lose 1 screw here to remove the image plate start sensor. Just disconnect the small cable and remove the board. After that, disconnect the 3 connections, 2 of them in the right corner and 1 of them in the left corner. You have to loosen 4 screws, but don't unscrew them, just loose them. There are 2 of each side. And to grab this black box and to remove it, it's recommended to grab it where these green markings are, so like this. So when you are ready and you have loosened all 4 screws, you can grab it here, lift it up a little bit, and remove it like this. So this box is completely closed, and please keep it closed because it's dust proof and it has to be dust proof. There's a small window, so it's also dust proof from the image plate side. Okay, to put the spare unit back, the spare optics unit, just put it back like you removed the one before. And before you tighten the screws, go sure that it's sitting on the lower bolts. We have 2 bolts here, and also it's firmly attached to the right side bolt. So keep it down and right, and now tighten the screws.